Well, internet.
Looks like I'm back again.
Joe Rogan had this one actual scientist or an actual physicist or something on his show. This is a smart guy that's being interviewed here that I wish I could talk to, because I have a million questions I would ask this guy if I could just talk to him directly. But Joe Rogan literally asked every question I would have asked. And by the end of that episode of his podcast, I don't think there would be any questions I'd have left to ask that guy. I also wasn't even a leftist when I made those videos. I was still identifying as what I now know to be a neoliberal. Revolution isn't happening in the foreseeable future. All we can do at this current moment is work within our current electoral system. Anybody who's still burning your bust at this point, there's no changing their minds. Fuck them, okay? They don't give a shit about minorities or anybody in this country whose life is on the line in this election. Nuking Japan was justified, though. It's sort of like a hard discussion, but yeah. From what I've seen with all the arguments, it does seem like the good does outweigh the bad, and it's like the train, it's like the trolley problem, you know? It's a really fucked up situation, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. His fans are belligerent, obnoxious, creepy chuds who harass and shame other content creators for expressing any disagreement with him in ways no other creator's community ever does. Political boundaries are not the line by which you should judge the moral character of YouTubers and streamers in this space, or any public figure. You will find 4 times out of 10, I'd say, that a content creator in your lane that you've discovered who you might want to collab with, become friends with, who you might even find enjoying their content and becoming sort of a fan of in a way, already hates you before you even know their name, or before you even knew they exist. Now, would you guys like to guess what exactly got me banned and blocked by Bad Bunny here? Now, it's not because of any, I'm not trans or gay or anything like that, or bi, so it's not because of her bigotry, so I will let you guys know it is not because I am part of any marginalized groups that Bad Bunny has a bigotry towards. So Bad Bunny, I learned about her mostly because of the Destiny drama, and I wasn't entirely convinced by the reasons that Destiny gave for why we ought to dislike Bad Bunny. It just didn't come off to me as entirely, valid for everybody just all of a sudden decide Bad Bunny's a piece of shit and just disregard her and refuse to engage with her or anything like that or be friends with her just because Destiny says she's mean or whatever. It just didn't sit well with me. Now, a lot of people over the years who have had criticism of Bad Bunny have said more or less the exact same thing. And I'll admit that I made a counter argument to this, along with people who would defend Bad Bunny, that people who have this opinion are probably just being biased by the fact that she's a woman, and that when a woman engages in this type of humor, it comes off as being bitchy or rude or as narcissistic or whatever, but when men do it, it comes off as suave or he's kind of a douchebag, but he's funny about it, so it's okay because he's a guy. My living situation with my parents eventually just got too toxic for me to continue being happy and making content, and I decided that my best course of action was to move away. And so I did. I moved all the way across the country to Palm Springs, California with Lonnie. Lonnie would want attention, despite the fact that both of us were at home all day and we spent tons of time together just by virtue of that. While my suspicions became ever increasing, Lonnie was offered a job cleaning Airbnbs by a friend of hers. She took it, claiming she wanted to be able to get out of the house and make some friends and help make ends meet financially. Lonnie was now spending most of her time out of the house. In some cases, she would go more than a day without responding to me, and eventually started not coming home. When I'd questioned her about it and she'd actually respond, her reasoning was that she was spending the night on her friend Sarah's couch because they worked together and they were carpooling to save money on gas. I didn't buy it, and the first night that she didn't come home, I started to consider the relationship over. She would constantly use my card to order Grubhub and Uber Eats to places she was cleaning for lunch instead of packing some of the fresh food that she had bought that was in our fridge and going bad. She would also constantly leave half-eaten food just sitting on the counter to go bad. She wouldn't even bother just throwing it in the fridge to let it be good for later.
And
Absolutely.
going away.
Go to the bathroom. Why can't you ever throw up in the toilet?
She needed to move her stuff out. I don't wish homelessness on anyone, but it just had to happen. I have no intent to keep on paying to keep her items in storage. It's burning a hole in my pocket for me to even hold on to these things. I only saved them out of the kindness of my heart to try and be a good person, and it's only gotten me tangled up in more drama. I'd literally have less bullshit to deal with had I let her sentimental, irreplaceable items get trashed in the unit along with the rest of her stuff.